Hello everyone, and we are live at the Premier Chess Academy World Cup Semi-Finals 2023. It's the Category 3 matchup between the Big Bishops and the mysterious Magnus. We have an exciting matchup going on here, and the matches have already started. Sorry for tuning in a couple of minutes late. We were just fixing some technical errors. We are in the commentary box. Joining me with Kunal, Hashita, Tushar, Shekhar, Aniket. Hi guys, how are you guys doing?
Yeah, I'm good, doing good, sir.
Good.
All right,
Doing great and very excited to join in this amazing lineup.
all right,
Thank you so
Shekhar.
much.
Excited to have you here. Hashita also excited to have you here for the first time to join us in the commentary. Let's dive in, guys, directly to the matches since the matches have started here. So the first match which is going on is between. The first match that we are seeing is Aditya versus Asher. Asher is from the team Big Bishops. Aditya is from the team Mysterious Magnus, and Aditya is playing. Aditya is with Mysterious Magnus. Aditya is playing with the white pieces here. Guys, what are your thoughts about this position?
Yes, sir.
Looking like
Go ahead,
I
Shekhar.
do have a slight. I can see I can see the white is slightly better by slightly better here. The knight is pinned, and white can double the rook on the d file. Basically, black knight is having some kind of pressure there, so I better to have a white side. So Kunal sir, what do you think? Which side you wanted to play?
Sir, you took my side. Okay. Okay. Now I'm in the favor of black.
Yeah.
yeah, Rook f d1 would have definitely been a better move.
Yeah, doubling up the rook was a better move.
Right. Like he lost the pin now.
All,
Hmm.
all right.
Losing
And I
up the
think one pawn.
Okay, guys, let's split colors to make things exciting. Okay, so Kunal, you already opted for black. So Kunal, Harshita, Tushar, probably you guys can take the black pieces. Aniket and Shekhar, you guys can take the white pieces here. And let's see. So what you have to do is, all you have to do is keep it simple. Try to support or root for the black pieces and support them. Aniket, Shekhar, you guys have to root for the white pieces. And
Mhm.
all right.
Yeah.
So
I
I
think
can
black is
see.
definitely
Seems
having
like
advantage.
since it's white to play, I think what if the knight maneuvers to d3 by going to c5 and then d3, and then the knight would be kind of pinned over there.
So I have a like
Oh,
interesting move here from the black side, like queen g5.
Queen g5. Oh, what if takes your pawn takes and it's a fork? Yeah, yeah. This is interesting move. You can. Yeah, this is absolutely interesting move. So getting a pawn.
All right. Some tactics
And also
come.
the threat knight h3. Even if you take or not take, yeah.
All right. So
but
probably
this
So I
might come
think,
with a check, right? This might come
yeah.
with a check, although, yeah, doesn't seem like a good move to me.
Rook f8.
Right.
Yeah, rook f8
Kunal,
is
Rook
in
f8.
Kunal sir,
interesting move.
what do you think the activity of pieces were white versus black? Who is having a better activity in this position?
Can we flip the board to the black side for once?
all right,
It's like a beginner's
Let's
request. Sir, can you flip the board? Yeah,
not
No,
usually,
it would make things really interesting then to see it from black perspective.
I would have gone for exchange if I was black. Getting the
Mhm.
pawn
yeah,
in
exchange.
for the exchange.
okay. Interesting things happening here, guys. White made a move and suddenly requested for a take back, right? But black, of course, declines it, and probably white loses a pawn here, and
Yeah.
this endgame would be interesting. All right, interesting to see if black is able to convert this endgame. And let's jump to the other game. Also, guys, we'll have very less time to juggle between both the games. So let's see what's happening here on the other game. And this is the second one which we have going on. And this is the game between Arush versus
Once.
Vanch, all right. And Vanch is playing from the Big Bishops. Arush is playing for the Mysterious Magnus team. So there, Asher looks like Big Bishops is slightly a little bit favorite there. Let's see what's happening with Vanch and Arush. All right. What do you get? Oh, another
I think the game ended.
Game ended in a
Draw.
draw.
It is draw.
draw. All right. Let's just quickly look at how did it go. Okay, like let's just quickly look at the last couple of moves.
Mhm.
Well, it seems to me that Arush was clearly better in this game.
Arish was clearly
Yeah,
Mhm.
better.
Black should win this game. Like
Black should have been the key.
with the
Yes.
normal logical moves, Black should win this game.
Right. So
All
after
right.
the knight went to f4 and the king goes back to g3 and they repeated the moves there. I don't see the point of repeating the moves here when you have clearly a knight up.
All
Yeah,
right.
just when the king goes to h3, queen e6 is there.
Yeah, oh, great
Exactly,
find by
right.
Tushar. That's a
Black,
simple
Black
move
did have
and a
sufficient time
winning
also.
move. And yes,
After
white.
that knight to d4, after that knight to
In
d4, attacking
fact,
on
in
c2
fact,
and
when the knight
e2.
goes to e2, sorry,
Yes.
yeah, where am I? The knight goes to e2 and the king goes to h3. In that situation,
Queen
yeah, the
e6.
queen can definitely go and attack on f4, right?
No, but Tushar suggested a simpler move.
Or
Queen
Queen
knight
e6.
is
e6.
hanging.
Yeah.
No,
Queen
no, no.
e6 is
I thought it
Queen
was
f.
black to play. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, if black to
Queen
play
e6, Queen
Queen
exchange,
f4,
and then it's winning.
knight hangs. Queen e6 is a simpler move where just the queen goes back and attacks, and we exchange. And black might win this because black is a knight up. And black had enough time. In fact, 9 minutes 55 seconds. The match starts at 10 minutes. So probably in the sense of just playing a little bit too fast. So, guys, for some kids, I guess, what is your thoughts about this? He didn't realize
Yeah.
because he jumped with the knight one time from here and the other time from here and the second time from here. So, but king f4, knight f4, king h3 is the position which got repeated.
Correct, sir. So here I like to mention one point. If you look at the ratings of the player, the white is little bit higher than the black. So this is one factor that kids usually having in their mind while playing the game. I got paired with high rated opponent, so definitely he's a skillful player.
Probably
I need
fine.
to be very careful. Yeah. So probably that's why black opt for the triple repetition, even though if you have to think a little bit more, he is definitely winning. But due to a little bit more rating than black, so he opt for the draw, sir. That I think black should have not do that.
Exactly, exactly. The clear
I
game
definitely
has
agree with
been
Tushar there. Yes, that's a very common
Yeah.
psychology I have seen in some kids.
Chirag
Alright.
sir,
Okay.
the next game only 1 more minute.
Okay, let's just jump here and let's see what's happening here. All right.
So I have one question. So any suggestion like how can we tackle this problem? Like rating one?
Go and play in that what do you call it?
Zen mode.
Jet mode. Yeah.
Correct. So I usually suggest all my kids to play in Zen mode specifically in tournament. So they do not know whom they are playing against. So it's like they have to give their 100% best even they're playing unrated, a skillful player or whatever it is. They are playing with unknown player. So they have to give their best no matter what. So it is like best way to like guide the kids with playing with the Zen mode.
Right, excellent suggestion there, Tushar. We'll come back. We'll try to explain the audience what the Zen mode is and everything, guys. Coming back, we haven't heard anything from Hashita yet. So, Hashita, I guess you are from Team Black here, right? With
Yes, sir.
Kunal and Tushar. I would like to hear your thoughts here. What do you think? Will Black be able to convert this game to a victory?
Yeah, now I can just say that now black can convert this game back. And the important thing over here is like the king is active on the board now. So
Exactly.
I think he can just go to the end game nicely here.
All right.
Although
and-
it seems to me that black is slightly sliding under the time pressure with the clock going to
Yeah.
go under 1 minute right
That's the
now.
different thing. Yeah.
Excellent. Cheers, Shekhar. Just
Yeah.
chiming in at time for rooting for Aditya there and rooting for the white team there, which is the mysterious Magnus there where Aditya is playing. So the first game, guys, for the audiences just tuning in, the first game between the Big Bishops and the mysterious Magnus have ended in a draw. We are on the second game where things are getting exciting. We hope this also ends in a draw. Let's see what happens here, and let's see what All right, white manages to
If you
win
look,
it.
yeah,
Lost a pawn.
Things are getting
if you look at
interesting
the
now.
black position, black was doing fine, and mostly having that maturity using a king in the end game is very like less as compared while the kids are in training or they are learning. So using king is one of the best way in the end game to utilize all your pieces or all whatever your resources you have, use all of them. So it is like perfect, good definition for using all the pieces and specifically the king in the end game.
For me, I always ask my kid that a king is an active piece when it comes to endgame.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right, black
And
definitely
I
Oh,
living.
that's a big blunder by white. That's a
Oh.
blunder.
Yeah.
All
yes.
right, and looks like
Now
now
Yes,
now
black
look
now
at the
black
time.
should convert it.
Black will play fast and white will play
Yes.
slow. Now that time will
Time
be
played a
also
role.
in white. Yes. And black is
So
playing on the
simple.
right side, sir. Correctly, he needs to play on the king side and where he's focusing on. Either he even he lost a pawn, it doesn't matter.
That means when
So
when
he's on the right
opportunity
side.
to attack the knight,
Okay.
it will be checkmate.
That's
It's a
then it's
make.
going to be mate in one.
Yeah, look, F1 is coming through.
All right,
Correct.
so guys,
Oh.
this changes the things. All right, so here black wins. Asher takes home the victory for Big Bishops. It's already a draw on board number one. So it looks like Big Bishop is leading. Let's go and jump into the match number three, and let's see what's happening there. All right, and I'll just try to tune that in. All right, match number three. Let me just check with the technical team. What's the status for match number three? All right. Meanwhile, guys, what we can do is we both the games looks very interesting. Okay, and what we can do is we can just take the analysis from the top here, and we'll try to understand what's happening and how did the opening go, where the kids could have improved. All right, so we'll do that. Okay, so guys, just started with this. All right, remember your colors, and let's see what happened here. Okay, guys, your thoughts about the opening? Anywhere you feel the kids made a mistake, please do let me know. We can just stop there if you feel that there was a better move here. All right. Okay.
Yeah, there's one typical idea in Real Lopez, sir. Usually the pawn on e5 is not capturable unless the pawn on e4 is defended. So now the e4 is very well defended. We can exchange the bishop or knight and take the d4 pawn.
All right.
I do have one question. Black made a h6 black made a h6 move. Like, what is the reason behind that move? So don't you think this is a passive move? Black made a h6
Exactly.
move.
The reason the kids play h6 or a6 is to stop the bishop pinning the knight. And that is the only reason I have seen kids playing a6 or h6.
Yeah. So what are the options at this stage? Like instead of playing h6, so can black go for d6 and be ready for the opening the bishop, or he can just do the castling and be ready for
Definitely
the
black
attack
should have played
on the-
d6. In my opinion, black should have definitely played
Yeah,
d6 here.
d6 is a bit more active move.
Mhm.
You are
So-
creating a way for your bishop to create a pin. Later on, you can play the knight to d4, putting more pressure on the knight.
Yeah. So instead of playing
Also,
the,
like
so
Tushar
here-
pointed out, like the e5
Yeah.
pawn would be hanging. So for that, d6 is a must.
Correct.
Yeah, so here is the lesson for everyone. So like instead of playing the h6 like a passive move, so kids can just go with the d6 and just have an attack on, have a pressure on f3 knight by putting the bishop on g4 and just attack again, putting the knight on d4. So it's kind of idea, so kids can learn from this. So Kunal sir, what do you think? Are you agree with me? Like having a passive,
Yeah.
having a passive attitude instead of having a passive attitude, we can just go for the attacking mode, right?
No, the thing is, recently I have seen kids playing with black. They are trying to go for a draw. I don't know why. They think that black is for draw itself, but now it's not like that. Black can go for a win also from the starting itself. We have different kinds of opening. Rai Lopez is a little bit of draws, but in even Rai Lopez, there are a lot of lines where black come off with an advantage. For example, in this line after d6, bishop to g4, knight d4. That's a very big what do you call it? A little bit more advantageous position for
Sorry.
black.
Oh, so
To d4, bishop g4.
Yeah, it's a double edge, sir. Like
Yeah, we can just, yeah.
Now what do you
usually
suggest?
what Black is trying to do in the opening, in all opening, basically he's trying to get an equality. He knows that he knows he's like a one move down. So getting an equality for Black is like itself it's an achievement. But having that understanding at the lower level, it's a little bit difficult. So only developing the pieces, if they get a comfortable position, that is like enough for the kids. But at high level, even if the Black gets equality, like they are thinking they are winning. So yeah.
All right, guys.
Also,
guys,
since the tendency of drawing the game was mentioned, I would like to say that putting the bishop on e7 at the opening is not a very bad idea for black in the initial stages. It's slightly defensive, yes, but in the middle game, many chances and many gateways open up for black as well.
Okay, guys, so we have news, all right. The third match, all right, and the match where the results depend upon has started, and it's the match between Karthik Mishra, all right, and versus Agne Bijkumar, all right. So Karthik is playing from the team Big Bishops, and Agne is playing from Mysterious Magnus. For Agne is a must-win game. All right, so it's a must-win game for the team. So Agne just needs to win here with the black pieces, and we might see again a similar opening that we were discussing about in this game. All right, let's see. Not exactly similar, but let's see how does things pan out here. And all right, guys, team white, team black, you are the experts. Let's take it away. Let's go turn by turn. And let's see, Harshita, your thoughts again. You have been a little bit shy talking about other commentators taking up the conversation here. Your thoughts about what is the how is black doing here?
Like black is just doing the normal opening over here, like what they have to do from the opening. And white is like more advanced on the d4 square now, I think. So the black has to think about this move, and they have to fight against the d file now. Okay, so they just capture the pawn. Okay.
Definitely, this is more advantageous for white because usually this
White.
kind of opening happens when the king is still not castled yet, right?
Yes.
At that position, black will have equality chances, but right now it's looking so much better for white.
Definitely.
A typical setup, like castle, control center, development of minor pieces. Only just queen needs to move out and the rooks are connected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Queen b3, yeah, great move.
He hear you, sir.
White just seems to be very sure of the plan, so looks like great game going. But guys, the ratings of both the players are really high, and it will be interesting to see what happens in the game.
So don't you think, guys? Yeah, black has made a slight mistake here.
Okay, black should go to king
Yeah.
f8 now. King f8, yes. Now the queen has to move and then the bishop is going to be captured.
No, sir, we can just attack on the knight, and so we can just try to exchange the bishop with the knight. We can just attack the knight.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we can do that.
Black lost the pawn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lost the
that is-
pawn.
Lost the pawn, and as well as, sir, don't you think black wasted a lot of moves because he has to open his bishop right now? The rooks are not connected, queen is not well developed. At
What
that
I
point.
think, sir, that
Mhm.
white has prepared his opening very well. He is
Yeah.
ready for all the responses of black. Okay.
Yeah.
And black has also done the opening preparation, but I think he is out of the preparation now.
Like this bishop g4 is a dubious move.
Yeah.
It's not really doing anything.
Normal development move.
Instead of bishop to g4, don't you think bishop to e6 is a good move? Like, what do you?
I was
what are-
just
what-
going to say that. Yeah,
So what are
bishop
your thoughts
e6.
on Tushar, sir? What are your thoughts on bishop e6?
I disagree with bishop e6 since bishop e6 will follow into knight g5, and after the king move that he will definitely exchange with the knight with the bishop. Since white is a pawn up, after that he can just simply play rook ad1 and further pawn e5 will break come, and white is having decent position without any complications. I think
Okay,
black should
so-
keep the pieces up on the board.
So you're in the
Aspect-
side of like having a bishop on the board, so with the knight here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Since black is a pawn down, means it's not like a huge mistake, but having the pieces on the board have a chance of making the position complicated. Now, yeah.
So at this
Yeah, this
position,
seems
sir,
to be
knight
a
into pawn. At this position, knight into pawn is happened. But what do you think about the pawn into pawn? Like, sir, so the pawn on d file is the isolated pawn for the white, right? So taking with the pawn into pawn, so it making we are making our pawn not isolated. What do you think about on this? Like everybody, what do you think about this movement, guys? Pawn into
Yeah,
pawn
pawn
instead of
takes
knight into
pawn.
pawn.
Knight takes pawn was a better move. He played
Mm-hmm.
good. Pawn takes pawn
Mm-hmm.
will make the opponent queen more active. He can make a what you call it, a bridge
Mm-hmm.
with the rooks and the queens. Open queen
But
is a
sir, again,
dangerous thing.
again we can move our rook to d1 and we can just take a control on the open file, and also we are removing our isolated pawn from the d file.
Rook d1, rook d7 is coming, sir.
Okay, so rook d1, rook d7 is coming. Okay, so we can become in a trouble, right? So f3, knight is also going to be pinned after that, right? So taking with the knight is a good thing.
And a queen f3, followed by ne4.
But sir, that pawn is falling then. Center pawn is falling then. If you knight e4 is coming up.
Queen c5 I was looking at.
Yeah. So if you are going knight
Yeah,
e4,
queen.
pawn is.
Yeah, pawn is going to down.
Can you just
So I think this is a decisive game, and like a lot of interesting facts are coming in this game.
yes,
So
but
seems like it's a very interesting game.
here the
And
thing is
black
But
black.
definitely needs to
game.
activate the
Game.
rook.
The
Black
point is
has to
white is
activate
having
the
a
rook.
slight edge and black is under pressure right now because black is in a must-win game. Black needs to win
Mm-hmm.
this game anyhow, and
Okay.
let's see what happens here.
Uh, Knight
My,
e4.
my one thought, yeah. So I was thinking
Ooh,
about that exchanging a queen and
exchange.
just removing our isolated pawn. So what do you think about this white idea, sir? So I was thinking about the same, so exchange the queen and just remove our isolated pawn over there.
Hmm.
Rook d8 has to be played, followed by knight d5, keeping the isolated pawn isolated. So,
No.
Yeah. Yeah, sir. Whenever you have a less pieces on the board, you must remove your isolated pawns, because whenever you don't have a pieces, who will protect that isolated pawn, right, sir? So it is the
Of course.
strategical idea. Whenever we have isolated pawn on the board, we must have a lot of pieces to protect it and just guide him to go promotion. So, but right now we are in end game, and so keeping the isolated pawn on the board, it's dangerous for white, right? So don't you think the decision was correct by the white to exchange the queen and remove the isolated pawn from the board, right?
That was a very good decision.
All right, okay, guys,
He was going to talk about the back rank
guys.
weakness.
Sorry. Just a second. Let's slow down a bit for the audiences. Let's try to explain the audiences what is an isolated pawn. We had a very long discussion, very intense things. You guys threw in some technical terms. You are the expert. The audience are now. Just explain them what an isolated pawn is. Okay, Aniket, since you were talking a lot, so let's just throw this question to you. Can you just explain in simple words for the audiences what is an isolated pawn? And why is it such an
Yes, sir,
important thing in the end game?
Yeah, sir. Isolated pawn is the thing that not going to be protected by the pawn itself. So look at the pawn chains on F. Look at the pawn chain on F2, G2, and H2. So all these pawns are going to be protected by each other, right? But look at that isolated pawn on D4. It will not going to get protection from the pawns. So whenever your pawns is not going to be protected by the pawn, other pawns, that going to be isolated pawn as much as sure. And the strategical idea, whenever you are having a isolated pawn in that, so you must have a pieces on the board, right? So this is the strategical thing. You can think about that. And whenever the game's going towards the end side, so it is like definitely sure that you will have a less pieces on the board, right? So whenever you have a less pieces on the board, it is very hard to protect that isolated pawn. So there are the idea is so if you have a isolated pawn, keep your pieces on the board, and if you're not having any not having any pieces on the board, just try to remove that isolated pawn or exchange it with somebody else, or exchange the pieces to get rid of that isolated pawn. Same thing white did here, and so I think white is having slightly advantage of because of that. Am I right, everyone? Like everyone is agrees with me.
yeah,
Correct, sir.
absolutely right, sir.
All right. Okay. So
I think black is getting into the wrong position here. The black king is getting into the wrong ES.
Oh,
Now that's going to be a problematic one. I like the idea of the black knight going to f6,
Oh.
switching its interest towards g4 and making a check. But right now it's looking like
Knight
black is going to
capture.
take up. Yeah, but white is going to take up the pawn. Why did the king? Okay, that was
The
a
king
Yeah,
side
knight
pawn.
f8. Knight f8 will come and the pawn will fall soon.
Mm, he should have gone
It was not
f8.
it was not necessary break. After knight f8, knight f6, king e5 would be much stronger.
Capture.
Right, we can't make the moves, but just pointing out here, Tushar said knight f8 here, so that we were attacking h7. If h7 moves, then we could have won this pawn, which white missed. Also, the point being, playing really fast at these moments. Okay, white is confident enough for winning, just that you shouldn't give any chances to the opponent to come back in the
Oh,
game.
shit.
Actually, this looks like kind of a chance, right?
Oh, now I think white
The king
has
catch
to
up.
lose the pawn. No, white will lose the pawn because there is no way to protect the pawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Knight e6, knight
Yeah,
d8.
Okay, black can
Yeah.
also get the h2 pawn. Black can also get the h2 pawn, but I think white will be a little bit faster there.
Okay. Knight a5, knight c3, knight c6.
knight endgames are really tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see if black manages to
Black
hold
will-
this to a draw, or perhaps maybe a victory. You never know. There are some surprises.
If it is a draw, then we are going to see a blitz.
Hello, expert. Is there any
Draw
idea
is
to trap
not
that
enough.
knight on
Draw is
h2?
not enough.
Okay. Right now, I think there is no idea to trap that knight. But whenever the knight, Chirag, can you just go on to the knight whenever knight was on h2? So, is there any idea to trap that knight on h2? So, what do you think? Is there any idea to trap that knight on h2?
Right now, no.
Not really.
Not
Yes.
really.
Yeah, I think
This
knight
escapes
a5.
The pawn
I
is
think
falling.
there is a way to trap the knight.
Pawn a5 and then king here, right? If the king manages to.
Yeah, the king.
Now the c5 pawn will fall too.
Both sides having a weaknesses. c5
King,
and c6.
king e6, king d5, and then the pawn will just be captured.
All right, looks like interesting things happening. Looks like
He's
black.
trying to play very fast, and in that fastness. Okay.
Yeah, now black is just going to win this game for sure.
Yeah,
Oh,
black should
yeah,
create a
yeah.
pass pawn on the right side. Yeah. This is why, like, when usually the high-rated player, usually those who have high rating, they're a little bit good in end games. Like,
But-
whatever the end games are, they are like having a knowledge because they have experienced more played games, and this here experience matter. So having an end game knowledge is crucial. Whatever end game, but it is important. In the beginning, white has having a good advantage, but it failed to convert into victory. Now, black who is winning now.
All right, we'll come to the analysis of this very interesting endgame, and we let the audiences know where did white go wrong, where white had a comfortable position, where white was just winning here. It's now very difficult for white to win in this and going forward. All right, black taking some time to think here, just making sure that there's no stalemate ideas, I guess.
I think black is offline here. Black is
Yeah, black
offline.
is
Okay,
offline.
now he's back online.
All right.
Even if the queen is exchanged for a pawn, I won't mind, right?
Yeah. And the black is thinking the same.
I guess
But
Usually
it
the
would be
kids-
Just capture it.
it
No
would be
need.
a challenge
Just
to
push
get
the
two queens
pawn.
on the board.
all right. That's really mature play here from black, and now black will simply convert this to a victory.
When I was a kid, like same style I used to be play, because like if removing everything and just have a one pawn and just convert into the queen. So no need to take a risk like having and all this thing.
All right, and at this level in the category 3, single queen checkmate is very easy for kids to do it. The kid is not even going to make a draw here. We are confident about that. In category 1, also the kids usually mostly 90% of the time do it. All right, so very easy for
Correct, sir. In my opinion,
White is trying his best to go for a stalemate.
yes. In my opinion, the
We
kid
all
should
know that
try
is
to
not
think.
going to happen.
Yes, correct. The moment he captured the pawn, that shows the understanding of the black. So I don't think he's going to fall for that trick.
All
Yeah,
right,
white
Exactly.
resigns.
and white resigns not.
And look at even the white's maturity. Even he played very well at the right moment. He resigned. He did not allow black to do a checkmate.
That's not
That's true. That's
maturity.
true.
That's
Resigning,
true.
guys.
That's true.
Even
Resigning.
though he's even though he's losing, he poked black.
Although he could have resigned earlier, right? According to that
Yes,
consideration.
correct. But look at the times of the kids. Like even though they have 9+ minutes, both of them, they should spend more time in crucial parts like in the end game and the middle game. So having time, it's like having advantage. You have to use them, utilize it. So like it doesn't matter whether you win or lose. It is important to use the time, however time we have promoted.
All right, very important here for white as well as black to use that particular time in the end game. Black clearly took advantage of the time factor. Karthik Mishra there having a winning position, not able to convert that position. And guys, we see here Agne has won for yes, Agne has won for Mysterious Bishop, Mysterious Magnus. All right. Unfortunately, Aditya Japesh from Mysterious Magnus lost as per one, and Arush and we saw Vanch made a draw. Whereas I guess that was a very important game where, let's look at this one where Arush was playing as black, and if Arush would have won this game here, the things would have turned. All right, so it would have looked very different. If Arush would have won, the match would have ended in a draw. Also, to the audiences, just informing, for Mysterious Magnus it was compulsory to score 2.5. They managed to score 1.5, and that wasn't enough. Asper taking home the victory for the team. Big Bishops there. Asper has been like the striker for the team. There he has been consistent as there for the quarterfinals. Also, we saw Asher Lops. Sorry, Asher Lops. Who's Selvin Jayaslin. So Selvin there. Sorry, Asher Lops is Selvin. The kid's name ID is Asher Lops. So Selvin there being consistent for the team Big Bishops, and Big Bishops looking favorites in category 3, dominating throughout the quarterfinals, throughout the semifinals, and let's see how do they perform in the finals. Before we go to the finals, we have we have the semifinal 2 also coming in tonight. So guys, stay tuned, and audiences, if you have any requests, anything that you would like to share with us, let us know in the chats there. We are always excited to hear from you guys. Just let's guys come to. All right, we'll just come back to the games. All right, this we'll come to the interesting games, but let's go turn by turn. Guys, let's go the first board. All right, we saw the first board. We saw how black should not have taken a draw. The mistake was here, where black could have won the game with queen e6, and that was kind of the summary. But let's look it from the top. Let's look all the games from the top. Let's do a quick analysis, spending like about 5 minutes each, and then guys, we'll end the stream here. That's the first round has ended. The Big Bishops is going forward to the finals in the category 3 of the World Cup. So okay guys, we were discussing about the openings and but usually, unless and until there's not a big mistake, I feel these openings are fine for the kids. They are 1500 rated, they know how to handle these positions. So overall in the opening, like what they are doing is following all the opening principles. Looks like all the knights are out, the bishops are out, so in general it's safe, right? Safe to say that it is. Everybody agree? Also, the
Yes,
nuances,
sir.
the opening preps, I know you guys are experts, you guys would want to go there. I know, and you might disagree with me also, but just thinking from a kid's perspective here, it's fine to play like this here, unless and until there's a major error. All right, would like to ask a question for the black team here, which is Kunal, Harshita, Tushar, and even a few. Is this decision fine in this particular position to capture the knight?
Uh, for me, yeah, it's good. No problem there
Or
because the diagonal is closed. Even if the bishop is there, we are not having anything.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to like counter here. So don't you think like exchanging a bishop like bishop initially and not having a bishop pair like you're losing the opportunity of having a bishop pair in the middle game? So don't you think this
Yeah,
is a bad?
correct. I agree
Bishop
with Aniket. So
Mhm.
exchanging unnecessary, like I don't know it's necessary or not, but as per my opinion, it's unnecessary. Keeping the bishop like a5 and b6 is like much more better, as the bishop usually tends to be a little bit better than the knight if the position gets open. And since it's opening, the kids, I think kids should not exchange the pieces, because the advantage you're going to get now, if you exchange it, you're not going to get in future like that. So having the pieces, like they says, now keep the tension. So if the more the pieces, the more the tension is. So having the piece on the board is much more sensible.
All
I
right.
would like to
Yeah.
make a point here as well. Since the bishop is capturing the knight, and if the bishop takes on c3, then one tactic or one trick that I occasionally tell my kids is to move the knight somewhere else, like d2, for example, then moving the pawn to f4. And when that pawn opens up, the bishop has a very good diagonal up to
Yeah.
that rook. The
Okay.
bishop has a very good diagonal to that rook. That is something really attractive to me personally.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It is good
probably
like
because
good
of
planning.
Shaker's reason, Tushar's reason, maybe not capturing the knight might not have been a good decision. Just keeping the bishop on the board, rerouting the bishop on this diagonal where the bishop could have been much more active, could have been better for black. And let's see. All right. White captures knight. That's kind of a similar theme. So both the kids are going for copycat chess. Looks like it's very
Yeah,
symmetric in
this
nature.
is,
So we have
yeah, you can see this.
go ahead, Tushar.
Yeah, sorry, you can see this typical thing like how was almost it. You can see this. It's a copycat, not copycat, but you can see this pawn structure. The knights are on the like four edges on c3, c6, f6. It's like typical structure. What I feel is the kids should go for some gambits like this. How to know, at least they know the gambits, but they don't dare to play the gambits. I don't know the reason why. I usually tell my kids to play gambits. Even if you lose it, still go for it, no worries. But they should go through different openings. They should play this one, but they should, along with this, they should play gambits also. So they know they lost a pawn, they have to focus 200%. And in gambits you will see most of the tactical opportunities, dynamic game, aggressive game. This is like slow and steady, smooth. So I feel playing aggressive and more dynamic, the kids should have start from right now only.
All right,
So
definitely
at
kids.
least one strategy I can tell you here, one strategy. We can at least go for opposite side castling and just go for the pawns from both the sides. So they can learn like attacking and as well as the defending at the same time. That is also one kind of diversity they can play, right?
All
Long
right.
side castle.
Yeah.
Yeah, opposite side castling. Yeah.
Definitely, we need some dynamic games. We need fireworks on the board. That's exciting for us,
Yes.
and that's what the coaches are saying.
Yeah.
So let's see. Let's see. Did the fireworks didn't take place? They went for a safer thing, which is a mature thing to play. So we are proud of the coaches who are teaching them also to have some mature play, dynamic play, all sorts of play here. Let's see. Let's see. So the game's just going forward. All right. Okay.
Yeah, this happens because of tendency to, strike the center always. Usually this kind of things happen. Like small mistakes like this keep happening. Like it's really due to the tendency of the kids to strike at the center, like strike at the center all the time.
So
Strike. Yep.
again, this coming back with the knight, like so, what is the idea behind that? Why what kid wants to do here, and why he just come back with the knight? Is there
All
any
right.
idea guys
Aniket,
you
I
are
guess
getting it?
we were discussing about being scared of the higher rated player or something like that.
Mhm.
Arush had a very
Mhm.
comfortable position. Arush was in the end game was winning also. But certain decisions
Mhm.
like this going back might be a factor of that reason, where you just want to
Mhm.
keep play it safe. Don't and you if you
Ah.
can't think of a move there anywhere, just play it safe. All
Mhm.
right. But I guess the safest move could have been bringing any of the rooks behind also.
Yeah.
Knight e5 is also good.
Knight e5 is the best move
Knight
here.
d5, sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Knight d5 is the best move here, and let's see how does it go.
Oh,
Oh,
see.
so white just lost the piece like this here, and
Yeah,
white.
here's the moment that white lost the piece. Like So we was observing that the black is up by piece. So here is the movement that black took a piece.
All right, and this would not have been a good. Oh, this is a good decision for black, but not a good decision for white, offering an exchange of the rooks here. And once white has made that decision, all right. Surprisingly, black just made a threefold repetition. Also, I feel
That
this
could have.
was this wasn't intentional from black. Unknowingly, I guess the threefold repetition happened. So
Yeah, agree,
I'm
sir.
I'm for sure the kid did not intend to do it. The kid was just taking some time for doing some checks, all right, some thinking for something, and unknowingly the threefold repetition has taken place. So hard luck for Arush there, and hard luck for Team Mysterious Magnus there. All right, but good spirit, good games from both the kids, guys. Let's just quickly look at the other game. This was which was this one here, where Asher Locks versus Aditya. Sorry, I keep on saying Asher's ID, but Selvin there playing from the black pieces. And I guess this was the key moment here when we were talking about this game, where still looked like everyone looked like black is better. But I guess for white, it could have been a little bit of a could have been a position where white.
King,
Yes, sir. King to h2 will be good move here. King to h2.
yeah, king
King
to
to
h2 would have
h2,
been a good move.
and the
So
kid, I guess.
at this moment, I think this is a slip of mouse. Like at that time, White was asking for the take
Definitely,
back.
definitely. So some interesting things again happened in game two. Unknowingly, White just did a mouse clip, guys. For the audiences, Harshita, can you just explain what a mouse clip is to the audiences?
Hmm. So generally, what happened like kids just do mouse flip. That means that they just wanted to move the king somewhere else, and they just moved it somewhere else. So this
Accident.
thing is there.
Yes, accidentally the kid plays here. The kid was asking for a take
H1.
back, but it's a game. It's a game, and a very important one where black doing the right thing, I guess, not allowing a take back. All right,
Hmm.
and yeah, it's about sports. It's about winning and losing. All right, he could have taken a higher road, could have given a take back also, but it's not necessary that black realized that it was a mouse slip. So so taking not giving a take back is also a crucial point. Is a crucial decision. Also, we might have to check the rules if the take backs are allowed or not. Can the opponent give it? Because black also might not be clear about whether black can give the take back. Accidentally, if black gives a take back, what happens if black gets disqualified? So so these are the things which I guess the kids did not even think about, and just the general tendency is I want to win, and black just won this game from here outright after getting a comfortable position. And black, great technique, I guess. I feel we were all talking about black getting the king forward, so excellent technique, and white just blundered here with a fork, and that ends the game. So that was a summary for game number two between Aditya and Selvin. Selvin taking home the victory. The game number three was the most interesting one, which we saw a very interesting end game. All right, so white a very comfortable and in fact a dominating opening, whereas as our experts rightly pointed out, the kids might be in prep. White was a better one who was prepped in the opening, taking this pawn with this tactic. Black making a slight error here, where he attacked both the pieces. He thought he might get the bishop, as we were talking about, but he forgot about this intermediate move there. And all right, so took over. We talked about this very interesting way. We are talking about isolated pawns. The pawn which is alone would like to have with stay with their best friends there. The other pawns. So they're here. Let's see. All right, guys. Where do you think is the exact moment that white went wrong?
No, sir. Actually, basically, White was doing good here. White was doing good here initially, but I don't know where White made a
Yeah.
mistake. We can just go forward.
No, here
The,
even I
the
think rook
pawn,
exchange is also fine. Yeah,
after
moving the
two
king.
moves, he made a mistake. move the pawn.
Here
He should
Tushar
have
just
taken
pointed out
all the pawns
simple.
together.
We just pointed out earlier. Here the simpler technique was knight f8. You are at least winning one of the pawns, and then it becomes easier. Yeah, we came to this point
But
also.
doesn't knight f8 mate with knight f6?
Exactly. Knight f8, knight x6. So my
Knight
plan is to go,
f6.
my plan is to go king e5,
E5.
allowing knight g4 check, even king e6. So even if we take h2, we get h7 and h2, and our king is closer to the pawns. So it is hard for the black. Even if you look at the black's king, the king is like out of the game, and with one just pawn fall, the game is over.
All right, excellent calculations there by the experts, pointing it out that this knight goes a little far away from the action. This is the area where all the action is happening. So the knight has left the action area, and white might be able to take some advantage there. And let's see. Still, it looked like this
After
was.
f5, he should have captured the pawn instead of going to f6.
Oh, here also this works, I guess.
This works.
And you have two passed
Ah.
pawns, looks like.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, but knights are the most trickiest of the pieces, and that is why we know.
But one more thing. I have some calculation for the black here. So go forward, sir. Go forward. So exchange the pawn. Exchange the pawn. Yeah. So again, can't black goes for knight to b4, knight to b4, and attacking on e4.
First it's a check.
Check.
So king has to go where?
And
Yeah. So
See,
go
sir.
anywhere like
Knight to b4.
yeah, knight to b4.
h pawn is losing up now. We are getting the queen
Yeah,
faster.
yeah. Knight to d3. Then we are attacking on lots of pawns and all this thing. So it's
And even like
kind of,
Or the king
Kind
can
of
just move
counter.
to the king side, right? And the pawn will just quickly,
Yeah,
rapidly
correct.
get promoted.
Yes, yes. Just move the king like f4 or f5. I mean f5 or f6. Just stopping the king and the knight. After like knight before knight d3. Just make
Sorry,
make sure
sorry.
our pawn reaches safely.
So you're talking about this knight b4, captures knight b4 and h4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, even if the
Here,
check happens, it's not a big deal.
f6. All
Because
right.
there are two pawns to capture and create pass pawn is like way more difficult.
Okay, so
The
Karthik,
black should involve the middle game. Black should can involve in the like middle of the game. The king is like out of the game, and only the knight was roaming.
all right, and Karthik Mishra, if you're watching this, this was the winning line here, whereas white missed this opportunity, allowed black to come into the game, and this was the moment where black just managed to win this pawn, and that just changed the dynamics of the game. Also psychologically, white always thought he was winning throughout this moment, and suddenly he loses that extra pawn, so it becomes difficult. And let's see, it all went topsy-turvy, right? Somewhere here somebody's winning, somewhere there they are winning the pawns here and there. So interesting to see. Was this decision good, like just chasing the knight back? So I guess
yeah.
He
that's
should have gone with the pawns.
he
Yeah,
has to go
so
up,
like
right?
Yes.
like in endgame they say the principle of two weaknesses. So white has already one weakness on c6, and the other is on h7 and g6. So the king should have gone there. So in that case, the knight has to come. Even one pawn on g3 is like enough to the knight cannot attack the one pawn. It keeps moving forward and forward and forward.
All
So the
right.
king g5 and h6 will be like easy idea to win the game.
Alright, so let's say even though the knight is going there, we just go for these pawns and we'll try to keep on moving this one forward. This one pawn is very difficult for the
But
knight.
shouldn't have the knight move to e4 there when the king goes to g5? Knight e4 is a better move, I think.
No, we are not
Yeah.
losing the king h4 is coming.
King h4 better is king f4, sticking near to the center.
Yeah, instead of h4, f4 is a better option.
Yeah.
Then now again we'll go chase.
No, again he will come back to e5, e4 again.
Knight d3 and then again check. Yeah.
Yeah, go back, sir.
That is the
Knight
reason
e4.
I asked to go for h4.
Yeah, knight e4 is a really interesting move. So instead of going for that, we could have just support the pawn with the pawn g4, and then well, white has to go slow and steady. If you try to rush, this kinds of tick will fall.
Yeah, at this point, I was thinking white should stick with the black knight and chase the black knight for a little while.
No. Mm.
No, but then this happened.
And now the current threat is knight d3 check.
I mean, not king e3 exactly. What if we go king f3?
Yeah, king f3 still knight d3, and instead of king f3, pawn b4 make more sense, I guess. But I think no, knight d3 will come and the pawn fall eventually. Even if you go the pawn, let's say if you go g5, even if they take the pawns, can we make it in time?
G5.
The thing is
E4,
very simple, sir.
but he'll take this pawn.
When we
So
lose
he has
our
to come
attack
back.
now, the counter play comes very fast.
So this is the problem. Not sure. Okay. All right. So
So it's
guys,
like the black knight has a lot of options here, right?
Black-
Of capturing.
Black was the higher rated player and he did the right thing by activating the knight there, and white couldn't handle that, and now this king pawn endgame is clearly losing. It's no way that white can win this one again, 4 versus 2. So that was the roundup. White had this chances, should have taken the chance earlier itself when we were talking about somewhere here to get that victory. It was easier to win there. White just lost this pawn, and then black was the superior endgame player, showing why is the highest rated player, and just went ahead to win this game in a spectacular fashion, getting the queen. Also showing very mature play by ALEKHINE, just giving up this queen for this pawn because he's confident he'll get another queen, and showing there the correct technique where he gets the single queen checkmate. Alright, so that sums up our matches, and guys, the score has been in the favor of Big Bishops. Big Bishops take home the W, and Mysterious Magnus, hard luck. No worries, guys. There are more tournaments coming up. We'll have more matches, so it will be more action there. So, guys, we'll call this stream to an end. Just would like to hear everybody's final thoughts. Let's start with you, Shekhar. Your final thoughts, please.
Well, it was my first time joining in the commentary box, and I really liked it. The way the kids were playing and the kind of analysis all the coaches did here together. It was a very enjoyable session for me personally, and I think I'm excited for the finals right now. Let's see what happens in the finals.
Alright, and let's jump into Tushar. What are your thoughts there, Tushar?
Yes, I totally agree with the Shaker. Like joining the commentary panel is really enjoying, and that is specifically creating two teams between coaches only. That was the fun part. So like which team will win? Even the kids are fighting and coaches are also fighting. So that makes a like friendly competition. So yeah, it was like really great, and yeah, you can see that kids are showing some maturity and playing nice, decent game, and almost all the games are going to the end game, which is a good sign of a chess player, not getting checkmate in the opening or middle game. So overall, it was really good, and excited for the finals and commentary panel too.
Alright, we'd love to have you there, Tushar, again. And Hashta, moving on to you, what are your final thoughts?
Yeah, it was so interesting to have like the conversations with the coaches, and we are just seeing good games today with the kids. And I just enjoyed the game and all this good vibes. So I'm
Alright,
just waiting for the finals.
excellent. Everybody is really excited for the finals. Kunal, let's jump that same question to you. What are your thoughts?
Okay, sir, for me, I think the games were very good and very exciting, and it's always I feel very happy when I come to the streams. I feel confident here, and just a piece of advice to all the kids: material advantage is an advantage, time advantage is also an advantage. So take your time. Don't try to finish the game within a minute.
Correct. I agree totally with the Kunal sir. So time advantage, like time is our friend. We have to utilize the time as much as we can.
Alright, and Aniket?
Yeah, before like ending, sir, I would like to ask all the coaches, which is your favorite team?
Yes, guys, that's a great question, Tushar.
Yeah,
We have
try
more
to yeah,
teams
try to
playing in the
vote like and
semi-final.
guess which team will win the like finals.
So I think the team which is Vishy will gonna take the finals,
All right.
which is my favorite
Okay.
one.
I would
Aniket.
say whichever team Tushar sir supports is going to win the finals.
All right.
Okay, it's a
Team
nice one.
fans for Team Victorious Vishy there. Anikets are rooting for Victorious Vishy. Shekhar says Tushar's pickup might win the game. All right. Shekhar betting the horses on Tushar's picks. And Kunal, Harshita, what are your thoughts? There are many strong teams. Fantastic Fisher, uh, popular Polgar, ALEKHINE, attacking ALEKHINE. What are your thoughts there?
Sir, being a Fisher fan, you know whom I am going to support.
All right, so Kunal picks up Fisher, Hashta, Tushar. Guys, your picks.
Yeah, since we have provided one world champion from our country, so I'll go with the victory Vichy.
All right, Victorious
Yes,
Vichy.
I also just go for that.
All right,
With some,
exciting to see there. Okay, guys, I'll go with Fantastic Fisher. Probably these two teams are going to make it to the finals, and we'll see what happens there. They both are really, really strong teams. Fantastic Fisher is from the US. Bobby Fischer was a legend in the US. Vishy Anand is a legend in the Indian chess, still going strong. And these legendary teams. We'll see what happens in the final. Great question there, Tushar. We forgot Aniket's final thought. Aniket, your final thoughts. Then we'll wrap up the stream here.
Yeah, so I'm excited for the finals, and all the best to the team who win the all the matches, and being like kind-hearted for the players who lost the game. So don't lose the hope. This kind of opportunity will come again. So that's all about from my side.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Just a last message. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so our coaches can keep on
Aye.
coming in every weekend, helping out, analyzing the game. All right, that keeps us motivating to do all these great, exciting events. Also, a huge shout out to the arbiter team, to the organizing team, everybody sitting there working behind the scenes. A lot of them whom you don't see, you see only us sitting on the camera, chit chatting, chilling. But there's a lot of things. Managing 3,000 kids, like having their leeches IDs, working them out, coordinating with the parents. A lot of efforts and the time goes in for making this event happen. So shout out and thank you to all of them. And yes, we will take a leave. And guys, for these semi-final teams, the kids were from the UAE, China, Singapore, Australia, Malaysia. So for you guys, we'll see you in the final. For the others, we have an exciting semi-final round 2 coming up tonight. So we'll see you there. Bye bye.
Bye, team.